You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Markeia McCarty and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show.
Somebody needs to call Tom's mama because Tom isn't here. This week it is WWE Main Event. This is AfterBuzz TV. I am Scott Narver, your host for this evening, because Tom the Com Conley saved Markeia McCarty from the Wyatts, and
yeah, that's why I'm rejoicing.
I thought, did you say, you know, it's fine, I'll call somebody? And you
I called Tom. He came in like Indiana Jones. It was amazing. You should have seen him.
But then what happened?
No, he had like a whip and the leather jacket.
Yeah?
And he bust into the like desolate shack that I was in.
Right.
And he's like, he freed me, not with his hands, with his teeth.
With it?
He
Whoa.
did that. He was like,
Are you sure he freed you, or
like,
is he?
Like
okay.
that. And then it was amazing. And then the Wyatts are coming at us and we're running. And then right before we get to the car, he says, "Stop, wait. I'll cover you. Go ahead."
Wow, that's heroic.
I drove off. I was gone.
That's usually not how the movie ends, just driving off and leaving your hero. But that's what happens. So Markeia McCarty is here, the video game vixen herself.
Hey,
she
guys.
is here. And also joining us, as always, is Gabrielle Loren. Gabrielle
Loren, you got it.
Swallowing my R's. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fabulous, and I'm super excited because we have a special guest tonight, guys.
No, Tom's not going to be here.
Yeah.
No, Tom's not going to be here.
Tom was kidnapped by...
The Wyatt family.
Gotcha.
But Gabby, there's their ominous music right now.
We got your host, Scott.
Oh, no.
We're not gonna get him back.
Ever?
No.
He's way too calm.
He is very calm. I don't know if
Yes.
you're going to get a rise out of that guy.
Yeah, he
Right.
was super calm when
We
he rescued
can't tell
me.
if he's scared or not.
You can't? Have you checked his undergarments? See if they're soiled? If they're soiled, he's scared. If it's dry,
He's scared.
Oh,
He's
okay.
scared.
He's scared.
I love that voice.
Well, we do have a special guest calling in a little bit later on the show. We have WWE's Josh Mathews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a special treat.
Yeah, very excited. We're going to ask him all about the WWE Network. Little known thing coming up very soon, launching Monday, February 24th.
Yeah.
Sooner
Coming up.
than we think.
Sooner we think. It's that tiny month. But let's get to main event. It was in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We had our commentators, Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips, Vanilla and Vanilla. And
Is that what they call themselves?
that's what I call themselves.
Vanilla.
Vanilla and Vanilla. I mean, they're good, but they're, you know, fairly generic.
Yeah. They were super excited to be there, though.
They were super excited to be there. It's a good spot to be in, commentating this show. So we had the first match. We had Sin Cara and the Los Matadores versus The Shield
And El Torito.
and El Torito, which I'm sure you thought was great because, spoiler alert, he interfered.
Wait, you're saying El Torito was on the side during a match and he interfered?
He interfered. It should have been a
What?
disqualification.
Gabby, do you hear this?
He did a flipping senton onto, I think it was, who was it? He did it to one of the Shield. It's totally unfair.
The interferences with El Torito I'm okay with because he's a Torito. He's tiny. So it's not too much of a distraction, and if it is, then you need to like step up your game.
Then what about if AJ Lee interferes? She's tiny.
She's tiny too,
And
but
she's more adorable.
She's like triple
She's
El Torito.
AJ Lito.
AJ Lito.
Yeah, she can interfere anytime with me. All right, I'm swallowing the R's
I'm sure
again.
you'd be all about that.
I would be all about it. Tonight, El Torito was gray. which was quite unusual. He changes colors from time to time. He was white at the Royal Rumble, and then he's usually black or brown, but tonight he was gray. And yes, this was an exciting matchup. There was a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, it was amazing. I guess it's been a while since I've seen The Shield, and I was impressed. I loved it. The passion and the moves and Roman Reigns. Oh my goodness. Dean Ambrose. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's such like a Joker wild card. Why have these guys been separate before, like by themselves?
In the WWE, no. They debuted as a group. They've been together as a group, and that's why there's been some dissension lately amongst them, amongst Dean and Roman. But tonight they worked together. They were a unit. Because last week we saw the Wyatts go against Los Matadores and Sin Cara. So this was a test, since those two teams are going to go up against each other at Elimination Chamber. They both won. They both showed that they can work as a team. You know?
It shall be the test.
It shall be the test. So this was a very exciting matchup. A lot of really neat spots that happened. Like I said, El Torito did a flipping senton from the top rope to the outside. There's a variation of a classic tag team move from the Hart Foundation, which was, it was like the heart attack special maneuver where Dean Ambrose was holding, I think it was Sin Cara. He was holding him up in front of him on his chest, and then Roman Reigns ran off the rope, and then Superman punched him right in the face. That was way cool. That was devastating. And then we also had Seth Rollins hit his stomp on one of the Matadors for the conclusion of the matchup, a running stomp to the head.
Man, I went mom when I saw that one. I remember you saying that. I was just like, oh no. Oh, jeez, don't do that.
You scared. Oh, Jesus.
Poor baby.
Don't.
Yeah, and we also
Play
had
nice.
Roman Reigns doing a running drop kick to Sin Cara on the outside. He was underneath the ropes and then just boots right to the head.
That was awesome.
It was really great stuff. And the other team got in moves too. It was really fast paced. I couldn't keep track of all this stuff. I don't know how Tom does it.
Sin Cara was on fire when he did that. It was a spread eagle arm grab flip. This is what it was.
Yeah, it was.
From the corner post.
I only laugh because it's accurate. And they just don't call it that way.
That was it. And then Rollins, when he did the 3-time suplex, I think that was against Sin Cara, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just, they were so, like, what are the words? Energized. They were energized and
Impressive.
They were going for it. This was like a proving match, and they proved it. I'm excited to see them against the Wyatts now.
Yeah.
Before, I thought Wyatts win, but now...
Oh, it's up in the air?
Yeah, well, I already don't like the Wyatts anymore.
I have to say I'm really impressed with the consistency of the wrestlers. Because to do this job a few times a week, or maybe even every day, and still have that same energy that you're speaking of on camera, in, off camera, when they're, behind the scenes working on what they're going to be doing.
Like in a total Divas situation?
Yeah, but except, in their training camps and stuff.
I see.
Or when they're in the gym. I mean, that is skill and dedication. And it's very impressive that, they can keep that consistency. And I'm sure that's how they filter out through the audition process of who's staying and who's going.
And to amp it up, because once you start getting popular, once you start getting all that notoriety and people are, cheering your name and excited for you, you got to be that much more exciting each and every week.
Right.
You got to bring more moves. You got to spread eagle more and do more spinning maneuvers,
Yeah. Oh, well, one that Sin Cara did that was absolutely amazing to me, when he kind of like crazy strawed around, I think it was Rollins.
I think so, yeah, that his body's just twisting all around him.
It was amazing. It's like, how does he do that? How can you make your body twist in that way? It's just like Gabby was saying, it's like you have to have that mental and physical like push for yourself. It's incredible. I really respect these guys. How could anybody not?
I don't know. I don't respect El Torito, though, for interfering. It should have been a disqualification. Match should have been over. Shield wins.
Normally I don't either, but I let El Torito slide by.
That's what I can expect, huh? Some El Torito slide-bys. All right, so what would you give a star rating to this match? Markeia?
I gave it a 4.5.
4.5?
I loved this match. I
Okay.
loved it from beginning to end. And even with the DQ, I'm in Gabby's corner with that one. I don't care. I really don't care. He's a fun guy. And it just everything. The Diego handstand on the corner post. That and Seth Rollins like stomping out Diego for like the finish. It had me completely, I was enwrapped the entire time. And that's how a match should be.
Yeah.
Spectacle, fire, damn good wrestling.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 4.7 because with Markeia, I thought it was an incredible match. These guys were full of energy. I really enjoyed some of the moves they did. Sin Cara had kicked Seth in the nose at one point. Very intense. I mean, these guys are really like making me feel the pain sitting in the screening room. And I also, okay, this is so random, but I wanted to bring this up. The Los Matadores, the shoes that they wear, I noticed that they look like dress shoes. And granted, it's like the general like Spanish or, bullfighting, whatever they are supposed to be shoes.
Sure.
But how the hell do they wrestle with that kind of stuff going on?
So they got
with their
Spanish
outfits?
dress shoes on?
Yeah, because aren't the Matadores like the bullfighter type people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Except they
Yeah.
don't fight a bull. They have one interfere in their matches for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be an El Torito hater.
I am. Someone's got to be.
I just don't like, I mean, the intensity of the moves and the rebounds and the jumping. It's just insane to me that they're wearing shoes like that because it's not stability, I can understand a boot or a sneaker, but they look like dress shoes. I was noticing that and I just thought it was crazy.
That is random.
So this is why I respect them even more because no matter what their environment is, no matter what the condition is or what they have to work with, they still prove themselves. So props to that.
Okay.
And then also, I think you might have mentioned this, but the flips between Seth and Sin Cara where they were tumbling down each other, that was really awesome. They were pretty much like rolling down each other's bodies.
Yeah.
And I think he did a tornado move to Roman.
A tornado
one of the guys.
DDT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was sick. One of my favorite moves of the night. And when Diego slid over one of the guys from the Shield through the ropes,
I think it was Dean Ambrose.
yeah, it seemed like it was a miss, right? He didn't really get him. He kind of glided over him. So that was an interesting point in
Got
the
to work
match.
on his accuracy.
Yeah, so the
why they
accuracy
didn't win.
wasn't on point there.
That's why they didn't win.
But overall, clearly I was kept into the match. I was engaged, so that's why I gave it such a high score.
I agree. This is the type of match you want to see on Main Event. And
yeah.
this is the type of match that gets you excited as a fan because the way that you're both talking about it. And there's so many things we all mentioned different things that were highlights of the match. And we can't keep track of all the stuff because you have to just see it. There's too many things. It was a great match. I gave it 400 believes. And it got me excited for Elimination Chamber this Sunday. Like you said, it hyped up the Shield as a unit again to go up against the Wyatts, and it's just going to be incredible.
I'm so looking forward to it now.
And then up next, we had an ad for Legends House, which is one of the new shows that will be appearing on the network. A lot of legends that I grew up watching and loving. And Markeia, I think you're familiar with some of these guys too, right?
Yeah.
Like back in the IRS days, a couple of those guys.
Yeah, I saw Roddy Piper.
Yeah,
in
you
there.
love the IRS.
I do.
Were you familiar with any of these guys, Gabby?
No,
from
but I'm
past?
familiar from Halloween, that episode
Oh.
where Markeia dressed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, these are a lot of classic guys, and I know they've filmed the show a long time ago, and they've been sitting on it for a long time. So I'm excited to finally see the show debut because this is the sort of total divas I can get behind, like the past characters that I'm really into. So it's neat how they have the different programming for everybody. Because I know, Gabby, you love Total Divas. You watch that show all the time, and there's one I'm like, I don't know.
Do love it. It's just so interesting to see personalities because, every now and then they bring the divas on, but to see them highlighted and their personal lives with the drama, it's like, ooh, these girls are spicy. Love it.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
And this is another show that'll probably be a great show, and maybe it'll continue on with other legends doing another house and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see it. And then they teased on SmackDown, we're going to see Christian, one of my all-time faves, versus Sheamus. Again, more of the chamber drama happening.
Right,
So,
it's ramping up to the Elimination Chamber.
so that's going to be exciting for the SmackDown viewers. And then we went to a video package of Cameron.
Yeah, it was Total Divas
It
stuff,
was.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, because they already had Oksana in the ring, and then Alicia Fox.
Yeah, she's-
Alicia.
We're at least allowed one name screw up per person. So
Yeah.
I've done mine, you've done yours. Gabby, you have one on the way.
But yeah, it was showing all these clips of Total Divas, and it was just like, wow, Cameron's kind of crazy.
Well, and also
Crazy
apparently
Yeah, well, she's out there.
WWE apparently films the Divas, right? And then gives the footage to E because they don't allow E's cameras back there. They're very strict. That's what I was told.
Interesting.
They're very strict with the footage
Sure.
and people going backstage and stuff. So WWE actually does all the filming. I was told.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So we got caught up on her as sort of the personality that she is outside of the ring because Naomi wasn't there with her since Naomi's out injured. So then we had Cameron versus Oksana with Alicia Fox in her corner. This was a fast-paced Divas match. It was like the other match in that it was so quick to call, so quick to jot down all the action.
Yeah.
But Cameron got feisty. She started beating everybody up. She beat up Alicia, too.
She got slap happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, boom, and then a backhand. Like,
That was fun, though.
There's no slapping in wrestling. there is, but it's like full hand smack. I just like, all right, crazy fun.
Yeah. And we started talking because, Gabby, we did Big Tips Texas together, and you got me looking for weaves and all that stuff now.
And clip-in extensions.
So when we were there at Raw the other week, and I was looking at that live when the Divas were wrestling, seeing how the hair is staying on, and then I've been watching it during this match. I can't tell when someone has that stuff,
Oh my God. Yeah.
but I'm never sure.
Oh, no, they definitely all have it.
They all
Maybe
do?
not the Bellas, but
Does Oksana?
she looks like she has it by her haircut. I could just tell. Because there's like short hair and then there's long hair. So to me, I feel like she has extensions. Ariane, who is Cameron in the ring, definitely has extensions.
Okay.
You can see where it's coming off. But I mean, like,
That's
they're
HD.
so tightly in her head that I'm shocked they haven't fallen out. But like, because you know, when you have long hair, they kind of like get caught randomly on things. And like wrestling with two people, like it could get stuck in like her armpit or something when doing a move and could come right out. But I'm shocked that that stays
Yeah.
in. But power to them and
They're
their
like
hairstylists.
constantly.
Yeah. Well, you notice that Cameron is constantly moving her hair and fixing it in between each move. So for her, it's probably a struggle.
See, that's what impresses me. The shoes for you, the hair for me.
Yeah. Me too, actually. The hair impresses me also because I'd probably have to keep mine in a bun in order for it to not come out.
Would you be a librarian?
A
Would that-
That's a great idea for a wrestler.
Yeah, you'd be a
like
librarian
a
with your
nerdy,
hair.
hot librarian.
And then when you get
With
fired up, the
glasses.
glasses come off.
The
and
nerd glasses. And when you get mad, you just throw them.
Yeah.
Screw this.
So this
It's
match.
like, oh, she pulled out the ruler. Wait,
Yeah.
no, librarian, that's teachers.
That is a
Or
teacher.
nuns.
Oh, nerd, librarian.
She pulled out the
similar.
dictionary.
Oh yeah, that'd be devastating. Just wax them in with a dictionary. So this match ended suddenly with a quick roll up. It
was
was
like a reverso.
yeah. Oksana had her in a roll up, and then Cameron then quickly reversed it for a quick 1, 2, 3, and then celebrated outside the ring. And Alicia Fox and Oksana were very upset. And Oksana's been on a roll lately. She's been taking everybody out, but
Yeah, she's gotten much better.
she
You know?
continues to impress.
Yeah, and the personalities in there and the moves. Like, I really enjoyed when Cameron was out of the ring, when Oksana basically attacked her while she was doing her intro
Yeah.
stuff. And then Oksana laid down on the ring and was like, anytime, waiting for you.
Yeah, like she's inconvenienced.
So it's like, yeah, I like what they're doing with that duo, that heel duo of Alicia and Oksana. Like, that's interesting.
Yeah, she got very violent with Cameron right as she entered.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, get out of my way.
Yeah, take me seriously.
Yeah. But you know what? I have to say, because of the way they introed the girls, to me, it's kind of a giveaway to who is going to win. Because why did they feature Cameron for like 3 minutes of Diva footage and not do anything with Oksana?
Right, yeah.
You know? And then who won? Cameron won.
That is a shame when they do that, that it gives you that tip where you're like, well,
they're favoring.
I'm now invested in this person. There's no way that they lose now.
They're picking favorites.
Darn editors. So, Markeia, what would you give a star rating to this match?
I like the passion. I love the promo thing. I'm surprised. I'm not a reality show watcher. I'm not much of a television watcher anyway. But that really kind of got me involved with it and involved with the character that is Cameron. She was overshadowed to me by Naomi because I like how Naomi's getting stronger and stronger. But then seeing Cameron like do the crazy fun stuff in the ring, I gave this match a 4. I know.
Wow.
Maybe it was because it was right after the high-powered, match that we just saw, Shield and Los Matadores and Sin Cara. But I liked it, even though it was super short. I gave it a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gabby?
I'm going to give it a 4.5 because I think that Oksana is getting way better. She's definitely improving on her skills. Same with Cameron, because I always thought that Naomi was the stronger one in that duo, but now Cameron's stepping it up. And I thought tonight's main event was incredible. It was really good. All 3 matches were pretty strong. So 4.5.
Wow, all right. I agree. I liked it. I would have loved to have seen some more time with it, but I think they did tell a good story for what it was. Yeah. And I always like seeing divas on the show, and that's been a steady thing, so I love that. More of that.
Yeah, please.
And instead of the backstage segment, we got the video package. So since I don't watch Total Divas, I got to see a bunch of that stuff. Like sometimes how you gals don't get to see Raw or something like that, and that's the catch-up for you. This was the catch-up for me. Worked out great. So I gave it a 47 Lithuania, yes. And then we had some hype for the Chamber. More video packages of the excitement of seeing the gigantic steel structure. I've been one time and saw an Elimination Chamber match live. SummerSlam, like 2004 or 5, I don't remember which. Ooh. That thing is so massive. It's made out of chains. It hangs up above. You think if that thing falls, the first 20 rows are dead. There's just no way that it just collapses and explodes everywhere. Wow. But it's so massive and so heavy. And as JBL says on commentary all the time, there's nothing in that chamber that doesn't hurt. And you see it. When you see that match live, it's so brutal that those guys have to go through it. Because everything's chain. It's all just steel chain, and then those pods are hard plastic. Because when I saw it, Goldberg speared Jericho through one, and it was gnarly. So if people are seeing this match live, they're going to have an explosive good time. Wow. And these are some really good competitors in it, too. So it's going to be a really, really good match. And then we had Michael Cole and Triple H for their weekly sit-down. I noticed they don't have drinks.
It's an interview. Why would they have drinks?
It's a weekly thing now. Like, we usually have drinks. We usually meet up where we have some popcorn or something like that,
Well, yeah. I guess we do that weekly.
Yeah, it's super casual,
We always have popcorn when it's here.
They both wear suits. It's not a social thing.
As in, like, they're not the spectators.
I think they should have a little something, I think they should, little scotch and soda, maybe.
Well, they should have a spiked drink on the side.
I just think it's, it's always so formal. It's like, loosen up a bit. Why don't we go casual? Hawaiian shirts or something.
Hawaiian shirts.
That's super casual.
Well, all right, that is super casual.
Have they ever done WWE in Hawaii?
Yeah.
They have?
Yeah, it's pretty rare, but yeah, they've done it from time to time.
It's pretty cool.
And then they had Triple H predicting his winner.
Or not predicting his winner.
Yeah.
But then kind of predicting his winner.
Yeah.
I'll give a straight answer.
Yeah, he's teasing everybody.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who knows who's going to win? And then we cut back into the ring, outside of the ring, actually, and we had Bad News Barrett with his brand new podium that Tom and I got to see last week on the SmackDown taping. So he's got budget now. So he came out there and rose all the way up. And actually, before we get to Bad News Barrett, we have got Josh Mathews calling in now.
Yay.
So we're going to go to that, and then we'll cover the rest of the show in a little bit. Mm-hmm. But Josh, do we have you on the line?
I was just wondering why my alarm was going off at 1:30 in the morning in the East Coast.
Oh my God, you totally overslept.
I totally overslept.
Well, I'm glad you woke up.
How are you guys?
We're good.
We're doing
Sorry
great.
you're calling in so late. We know it's a time difference, but we have some people watching live who are really excited to talk to you.
I am really excited to talk to everybody.
Oh, you're such a good sport.
So, Markeia, you had some questions you wanted to ask Josh, right, about how he got into WWE and everything?
Yeah. I'm kind of an origin story person when it comes to questions, Josh. So I was kind of wondering for you. I mean, we know some of your background with it was Tough Enough was the wrestling show that you started with, but I wanted to know what was that moment for you? You know, for Josh Mathews when you're like, oh, okay, I know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do wrestling. I'm really interested. What was that turning point?
For me, it was always what I wanted to do. My brother was 3 years older than me, so anything that he was into, I was into. And he was into wrestling, and that's and we grew up in Northwest Indiana, so there's really not much going on there. So we were full on like just everything WWE, and that was the only company that we watched. And I mean, we bought a wrestling ring when we were kids and put it in my parents' backyard and did all that. And we just, it was pretty much the only thing that any of us, I mean, there was probably like a group of 15 kids that would get together every week, but that's all we all wanted to do was go on and eventually become somehow involved in the business that we're in now. And, you know, fortunately, I just continued to follow it and had support of everyone. And it's been, gosh, I think 12 years now since it all started.
Wow.
I bet there's a lot of Midwest that can relate to that. Are hoping for that.
So now, did you get involved knowing somebody? Did you just fall into the hands of the right people? How did that all come about?
No, we didn't know anyone, and that was the crazy thing, because back then it was like, how do you get into this business, like, let alone, not just the business, how do you get to WWE, how does that eventually happen? And I happened to be studying for a class one night when I heard the voice of Jim Ross, and he was talking about Tough Enough, and I was like, okay, I've got to send a tape for that. So I stopped doing my homework at that point, and put together a quick 2-minute tape and sent it off, and that's what started out the whole process.
Wow.
Nice.
So you heard back just from sending off a tape?
Yeah, MTV called about a week later, and then the following week they were showing like clips of people's videos as they continued the advertising for Tough Enough, and my video was on there. It was part of it. It was like that to me was like, okay, that's as far as I'll ever make it in this business. Like, I'm cool with that.
Well, when you had the progression further of you knew you were going to be on the show, you knew you were going to compete in Tough Enough. At that moment, was that, oh, I can't wait for my high school reunion. I cannot wait.
No, not really. I still don't ever think about that. Like, it's always, for me, it's always about forward thinking. So it was like, I found out I was going to be on the show, or had the opportunity to go out to audition to be on the show. And there's like, I think they got 5,000 video submissions, and they brought, I think, 500 to New York, or invited 500 to New York. And then, you know, from there it was like 500 to 250 in a day. And then finally the 13 of us that lived in the house in Connecticut.
Wow. So now, flash forward, you're working for WWE, and you're a huge commentator for definitely Main Event. How is it being on the road, working amongst the wrestlers 24/7?
It takes some getting used to. I mean, we're gone an awful lot, and that's fine. Fortunately, I'm at home right now in bed, which is great. But I think there's positives and negatives. I think that's the case for everything. But it's just kind of what you begin to know. Like, every Sunday, I know that I'm going to the airport, and if it's like a local show on Monday, if I don't go to the airport on Sunday, it feels weird.
Wow.
So you were doing commentary on many shows like Velocity and SmackDown. When you were doing that, who was shadowing you at the time? Who was your mentor?
Michael Cole. He is the one who saw in me the ability to do this, and we did the Tough Enough 1 and 2 reunion. It was like a weekend in New York, and at this point I think I'm either 19 or 20, and MTV and WWE flew us out to New York and basically gave us a whole bunch of money for the weekend just to kind of run around and have fun. And me at 20 years old took full advantage of that. And Cole and some of the other people that were kind of there just kind of sat back and watched and saw kind of like how much fun I had and how much I loved the product. And it was really his doing. He kind of pushed the executives to bring me in and hire me, even though I had no experience doing commentary. I was 3/4 of the way through college, and he was the one who really pushed for me to come in and do this.
So now, getting into like where we're at with WWE and how they're expanding, there's going to be a network as of Monday. Yeah. I know we had talked about this a little bit, but how do they plan? Are there any updates on how they plan to fill the programming for a 24-hour network?
I think they actually released a bit of information on that today. I think I saw on the website they kind of gave you a little bit of when the shows are going to be. I think like Legends House starts Thursdays at 8, and the Raw pre and post show, the SmackDown pre and post show. I think there's like 1,000 hours for the first week, and I'm half asleep, so I could be wrong. But I think it's slowly but surely, and for the people that are in from the beginning, I think you're going to see the network just grow and grow with the amount of content that'll be available for the fans to watch.
Anything new coming up that we haven't seen before?
Well, I mentioned Legends House. That's definitely something that I think that's going to be the biggest hit on the network. Pat Patterson's a dear friend of mine, and he talked to me about it after they filmed, and it just sounds like it's going to be one of the funnest shows that you can possibly see. And other than that, I think that there's just going to be a ton of original programming that people are just going to be able to decide, oh, hey, look, my alarm's going off again. That people are going to, you're going to pick and choose your favorite shows on the network, I think.
Has there been talk of Tough Enough making a return?
I'm sure that's an option. I don't know what happens behind those closed doors. I got a call tonight, very late, about some information. It was, hey, we just got out of these meetings. Here's some information for you. And that was close to 10 o'clock, so.
Oh, all right.
Well, so pretty much, all right, we're going to be seeing that on the network. That's great. And we know that you do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, too. You've said that you've kind of been producing a little, right? I mean, you've been going into the office in Connecticut.
Most of what I'm doing, I do go to the office, but I do a lot of our studio shows there. We still do shows like WWE Experience, which I'm 99% sure will be on the network. Shows like Afterburn and Bottom Line, those are basically your magazine shows for Raw and SmackDown. Where I feel like I'm helping produce is in those pre and post shows, and also like the kickoff shows before the pay-per-views. Those are where I feel I can lend the most amount of information and help in regards to getting those shows sort of ready for air, and then help direct traffic once we're actually on the air.
Is there anything fans would be surprised to know about your job and what it entails? Because we see you on TV commentating and doing all that stuff on camera, but behind the scenes, would there be anything that maybe would be interesting to know?
I don't know if anyone will be surprised. There's just a whole lot that goes into what we do, and I think that the fans, I think they get that and they appreciate that, because I know there's a lot of backlash about how much we talk about things like the WWE app or the network, but I think that they realize that we're doing it because we have to do it and it's our job to do it. And I think that they kind of respect that in a sense that, okay, here they're talking about this again, but we know that every week the audience for Raw or SmackDown, there's a different set of eyes on there that weren't there last week. So while you have the normal fans that tune in every week and DVR every week, there's always a growing audience. So it helps to reiterate, hey, the network launches next week, or Elimination Chamber Sunday. Here's how to download the app. As simple as it may be, I think it helps for either casual viewers or new viewers.
Great. So you mentioned the Elimination Chamber. I'm
Sunday. Nice segue.
Yeah. Well, I'm just very curious because there was an interview with Triple H on Main Event tonight where he didn't answer a direct question. So do you have a prediction for the Elimination Chamber this Sunday, Josh?
You can get my prediction Sunday, 7:30 Eastern, on kickoff.
Great answer.
Fantastic answer.
Along with the expert panelists that I get to talk to before every pay-per-view. We'll break it down. And I love those because it's an opportunity to give a different perspective and usually differing opinions for sure.
Way to stir up the anticipation.
Yeah.
Josh, another thing that I really enjoyed watching was a show, Saturday Morning Slam, that you were a commentator on, and that was such a loose, fun show. It was seemingly like a house show put on television, like a live event that everybody was let loose. And one of my favorite segments was you and Daniel Bryan talking about bears, that he was a bear expert and that nothing would work unless you wrestled a bear, and became so popular it turned into a techno song. What was the vibe of that show? Did you guys have free reign to just have more fun on that show?
We were sort of told to have fun on that show, and I loved it. And I remember talking to DB in the afternoon that day, and I said, "What do you want to talk about?" And he goes, "I just want to talk about bears." I said, "Okay, cool." And that was it. That was the only conversation that we had before that, and that was how it went that day. Another episode was R-Truth and I on commentary, and that's what I loved about that show, because every week I got to work with somebody different, and it was a challenge and it was fun. And for whatever reason, and Truth hates this story, and I'm going to tell him the first time I see him this week that I got to tell this story again. For whatever reason, he either forgot he was doing commentary, or just there's so much going on throughout the day and leading into the night that things like that happen. So the show's getting ready to start, and I'm sitting there waiting for him to come out. His music's playing, and he never shows up. And they were like, "Well, we're going to start the show." I was like, "Really?" And they're like, yeah, just go. So the show starts, the morning pilot starts and all that stuff, and I start talking, and we get about halfway through the match, and here comes Truth down the ramp. And he sits down, and the conversation for the whole hour was, how come your alarm didn't go off? Did little Jimmy sabotage you? What happened? It was such a fun show, and it was encouraged to have fun. And I don't know what happened. Whatever the negotiations fell out between CW and WWE, but it was certainly fun for the number of weeks that show lasted.
Yeah, that show is really fun. I hope that shows up on the network so fans can check that show out.
As a kid, I remember watching Saturday morning WWE shows, and those were always my favorite. And when we brought it back, it was like, okay, cool. And I took a different approach to the way I did commentary for that show. I talked about what the guys that you were watching, I talked about what they did as kids and their favorite subjects in school, and just a different approach to how you would do commentary for a show.
So now, Josh, we have a few loyal fans out there that wanted to ask you some questions. So I'm going to share tweets with you, and you're going to respond to each one. We only picked two tweets that went out, but the first one is from Sam Pabone, and he wants to know, will Triple H or Vince McMahon sign Sting before WrestleMania 30 or after, or if at all?
I hope so. I don't have the answer to that question. As a fan, I certainly hope so. I don't know if it'll happen before WrestleMania or after WrestleMania, but I think that Sting needs to have at least one match in a WWE ring. I think it has to happen, and in order for those two worlds to come together, I don't know what needs to happen. You know, those decisions are happening behind closed doors. But as a fan, I certainly hope it does happen.
Seems like the fans out there are in line with your same opinion. So another one is at Davin TFC, and he says, who has the most celebrity friends, Josh Mathews or Justin Roberts?
That's a funny question. I think I have to. I don't know who Justin Roberts is friends with, but I think I have to take the winning end of things there for sure.
You want to list off a few?
No, not really.
So Josh Mathews wins that battle. Another question I wanted to get into is kind of some of the things that are in the news right now. So do you know, is there any update if WWE officially released CM Punk from his contract, or do you believe that it may be just a storyline?
That's a great question. I don't know. To be quite honest with you, I'm pretty sure that CM Punk is still under contract to WWE, and I don't know if that's something that everyone's just kind of waiting for it to end, or I don't believe that it's storyline. If it is, cool. You know, when you take real life things and turn them into storylines, most of the time you get some great television out of that. We all look back at Stone Cold Steve Austin's situation, but I honestly don't know what the truth is, or if there's a little bit of gray area between all that stuff.
So can you still be under contract but released, or would that be a breach?
No, I think if you're released, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but I think if you're released from your contract, that, you know, that's it. It's over.
Okay. And then going on contracts, Mysterio's contract is about to expire. People are speculating on whether or not he will be coming back because of his surgeries and various injuries to the knee. Do you have any information on Mysterio?
Nope, no information. I think that Ray will always somehow be involved with WWE, whether it's as a competitor in the ring. There's going to be so many opportunities with the network, so many opportunities with the reach and stretch of how far WWE goes into different markets in the world. But I think Ray will always be a part of WWE, and who knows, I don't think Ray has 5 years of wrestling left in him. I could be wrong, but I think that he'll always be involved somehow.
Josh, you've gotten to do more than I think most kids could really ever dream of doing. You've wrestled for WWE, you've commentated, you've been in backstage segments, you've gotten to work with so many different characters and personas and be in so many spots on television, and you've had a major hand in helping produce shows for the network. What's next? What would you want to do next for WWE?
I really enjoy doing the panels on the kickoffs for the pay-per-views. So I really hope to be involved in the kickoffs and the pre-show for Raw and the post-show for Raw. That's kind of that's where I'm having the most amount of fun. And again, like I told you guys earlier, for me it's all forward thinking. So I don't ever really think about the things that I've done, just kind of like where I'm going and the things that I like to do. And that's where I'm having so much fun right now. And you know, Booker T is one of my favorite people there, and I love working with him. So the more I get to work with Book, the happier I am.
Forward thinking, dream panel, WrestleMania 30. Who is it?
Panel for WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
Man, honestly, I've had so many different variations of that panel. We did, I can't even remember what pay-per-view it was, where it was all a Royal Rumble winners, and it was Hacksaw, Shawn, and Ric Flair, and all day I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these guys. I don't know how I'm going to control this. And it ended up being one of the best panels that we had. Another time we had Vicky Guerrero, and I don't know if her and Natty were together or it was a separate one. But you always feel like you're challenged, and when it ends up working out, you're very happy. So to me, it really not that it doesn't matter. There's obviously certain people I'd rather have on there, and the WrestleMania kickoff show is usually an hour. I think it was an hour last year. So just entertaining, funny people, and I'm good.
Okay.
That's awesome. Well, look at you living in the moment. That's the way to be.
Look at me. As I look at the clock and it's 1:52.
Yeah, right? Well, see, you don't stop working. We've proved it tonight.
Yeah, you wake up
We
to work.
certainly did.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, for calling in. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure your fans do too. So.
All right, guys. Have fun.
All right, thanks so much, Josh.
Thank you.
Yes.
And Josh, before you go,
All right, you got it.
let everybody out there know where they can follow you if they're not already following you on social media.
Yeah, it's at WWE Josh Mathews with 1 T on Twitter, and I appreciate all the followers.
Awesome.
And of course, the network launches on Monday, February 24th.
Yeah, so go check it out. And buy a subscription.
Yes.
Thank you, Josh, and sleep well. Sorry for waking you up.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good
Good night.
Well, that was
Fun
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, so thanks, guys, for the questions. We always appreciate the fan interaction because it definitely helps with the show.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
Yes, all that fan interaction can, lay over to iTunes where you give the 5-star rate and review
Yes.
there for exclusive interviews like Josh Mathews, or you can even subscribe to AfterBuzz TV on YouTube and give a thumbs up to this show when watching it and comment below. We love interacting with you guys. So back to main event, we were at Bad News Barrett.
Oh, you mean Hugh Jackman's brother?
Oh, trash talking.
He looks like him, right? But
Well,
just
I guess that's not really
yeah.
trash talking.
No,
He's a good
not
looking
really.
dude.
Well, Hugh Jackman is, and
Right.
then you like Hugh Jackman's brother.
He insulted the American Olympic athletes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in Colorado. So it's just like, whoa. Do a lot of them come from there? I would assume, since I think of it as a winter state.
Well, there's a lot of athletes that probably train there because of the high altitude.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. So I'd never seen Bad News Barrett before, but I was just like, it takes some big brass ones to be in that. What was it? An unfolding podium?
Yes, this podium that rises and lights up. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's picking fights, but he is yet to wrestle on TV as Bad News Barrett because I don't think he can have a match. He can't get down from that thing.
Oh.
So it was great to see him appear on there. Hopefully we'll get to see him wrestle soon. And then we closed out the show with Curtis Axel versus Kofi Kingston. Curtis Axel had Ryback in his corner, and then a little later on as the match progressed and Ryback was getting involved, Mark Henry came to Kofi's aid.
Yes, and the ground quaked.
Because those are big guys on the outside.
Oh, man.
Slower paced match, more of a brawl by Curtis's standards, and then Kofi was getting in some high fly maneuvers in there when he could, when he wasn't being grounded by Curtis Axel. Good match. It was our main event for the evening, and then, there was interference, which I'm sure upsets half of this table, by Ryback, who interfered at the end and beat up Kofi.
Wait, what? Ryback interfered with a match when he was on the outside?
And I guess that's
The hell
bad
you
because
say?
he's so big.
You know what, though? All the fans were chanting, Ryback sucks. So he just got so pissed he had to take it out, and
Not on Kofi.
do it.
Not on Kofi.
Yeah, he didn't go after Mark Henry for some reason.
Oh,
Because
he
he's
knows
even
better.
bigger.
He knows better.
I liked one point in the match when Kofi was on the outside of the ring and he was down, face down on the ground, and Ryback kind of comes up like a little bear. He's like, huh? Is this fresh meat? And then Mark Henry comes around the corner like, no, it's not fresh meat.
Oh my God.
It's my Mark Henry voice.
It was solid. It was good. So, a good match, standard match. Markeia, what would you give a star rating to this match?
I gave it a 3.75. I thought it was slower paced. It was nice. It was a nice continuation for the way that main event was. I do admit I would have liked something a bit more impassioned and heavy, especially with what we had experienced up to that point.
Right.
Like maybe a Del Rio versus. I don't know. Del Rio versus Mark Henry.
Oh, no.
see Del Rio get flattened, but not before, like, just.
Just a flurry of punches before he just gets squashed.
Yeah, until Mark Henry topples over. But that'd be interesting. But yeah, gave it a 3.75.
Okay. Gabby.
Definitely could have been, there could have been more, but I still think it was a great main event. Another favorite episode, if you want to even call it that. But another favorite night for main event. I'm always impressed by Kofi's skill and technique. He's always got the leg power, flips Axel like it's no big deal, like a grain of salt. I gave it a 3.7 because could have given me more for the out, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, main event is always structured so differently than the other shows that it has seemingly the main event of their show at the beginning and it works backwards. Just so odd to see, and that's why we're having Sin Cara and Los Matadores versus the Shield to start off the show. That's hard to beat by the end of the show.
Oh, yeah.
So it's always a tough spot, and whatever match they put at the end, I'm always confused that they don't put that at the end instead, but it was a good match. It was fine. It was serviceable, but not as exciting as everything else we saw for the evening. So I gave it a 14 boom, boom, booms.
Ooh, do we have time for our predictions? Did we structure it right?
I guess we did.
We have like 2 minutes.
Okay.
We can do this.
10:58.
We can do it super quick.
We can do this.
Super quick.
Okay. I've got him here.
Lighting. Okay.
I've got him here. So, let's see. I'm not going to have this in the correct order, but we'll get it as we get it. The kickoff match. I got it here.
Yeah.
Which is where you're going to see Josh Mathews on his show doing the panel and the kickoff. So, that is the most important match of the evening. It is Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Ryback and Curtis Axel.
Yikes.
Okay. My prediction is Ryback.
Me too, Ryback.
Ooh, Ryback, huh?
Yep.
I am going to go Cody Rhodes and Goldust.
Okay, next.
Next, we have Batista versus Alberto Del Rio.
Batista.
Batista. I think we're all in agreement there. And then we have the New Age Outlaws, who are the tag team champions, versus the Usos.
Usos.
New Age Outlaws.
New Age Outlaws. Then we have the Primetime Players. I don't know if you gals know this. They split. They're not a tag team anymore.
Really?
Yes, Titus O'Neil turned his back on Darren Young and beat him down.
Oh, no.
Bloodied him and beat him. So it's Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil.
Wait a sec. Wasn't he on commentary, Darren, talking about how, like, it was either about the team player attitude or remember he was saying how it was all about the team or it was either the team or the solo. I can't remember,
Was
but it was
this a
one of
few
these
weeks
main
back?
events. Yeah.
It might have been a.
He was on commentary talking about.
Was it him or was it Brodus Clay and Tensai?
No,
I'm not
it
sure.
was. I thought it was Darren Young.
It very well could have been, and now it doesn't.
Either way, team player my butt.
Fans, if you know what I'm talking about, comics, I can't remember if he was being like, oh yeah, I'll stick with him till the end, or if he was saying, no, I want to win. If the opportunity came up, I'd kick his ass. I don't really
You're
remember.
probably
which
right.
Is it.
And now, as Markeia said,
Yikes.
Primetime Players, her butt.
Okay.
Team player.
Team player, her butt.
Primetime players versus who?
It's Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil.
Darren.
The tag team split apart,
Right.
facing one another.
Titus.
I say Titus.
I'm going to go Darren, just to be different. Then we've got Intercontinental Champion Big E. He has dropped the Langston versus Jack Swagger.
Biggie.
Who's Jack Swagger?
Jack Swagger is one half of the Real Americans.
Oh.
The guy who looks like Biff Tannen.
Biggie.
I'm going to go with Big E retaining as well. And then we have, let me see, the Shield versus the Wyatt family.
Oh my god. I'm going with Wyatt just because I love them.
I'm going with Shield.
I'm going with the Wyatt family. And maybe if they win, they'll let Tom go. That'll be exciting, and then
Or
he'll be
maybe-
back next week.
Maybe Shield will beat them down, and then he gets let go anyway.
I don't know if anyone heard, but on commentary tonight, they were saying how Bray Wyatt is a master deceiver. It was so funny. Meanwhile, the Wyatts weren't even up there, but they're probably preluding to this.
Yeah, that's how deceiving they were, because you thought they were going to come out. Oh, so deceiving. I
My
didn't think they
favorite
were going to
song.
come out again. This is
I'm having a
deceiving.
flashback.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is!
Bray, do you have any thoughts about the match on this Sunday?
I have a feeling.
It's probably hooked on
Feeling
feeling.
deep inside.
The Shield ain't gonna be able to do nothing to us.
Nothing.
But I think Manuel Bryan may
Manuel Bryan.
make some kind of appearance
Spanish.
in this match.
It's a great little
It's tease.
tease,
Big tease.
In some way or another. Gabby,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Tom
me,
says
Brett.
hey.
Tom says hi. Bray.
Wait,
Just a
Gabby's the
Gabby?
only one that hasn't
That's
been
unfair.
kidnapped yet.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm safe, but I might get kidnapped next week, actually, you guys.
Oh.
Well, at least you're planning out your
My own
kidnappings.
Yeah. Are there any more? Did we?
There is the
there's-
chamber match for the WWE
Right.
World Heavyweight Championship. We have Sheamus versus Christian versus John Cena versus Cesaro, drop the Antonio, versus Daniel Bryan versus the champion Randy Orton. And in this match, each competitor is eliminated by pinfall or submission. So
And only
there's
one wins?
Only one wins. So everyone will be eliminated, except for the winner.
Brian.
I say it goes down to like Bryan and Cesaro. Cesaro wins
You say Cesaro wins?
because I just want him to.
I feel like it's Bryan and Orton
He's super
last.
crazy, and I want to see more of him.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Daniel Bryan. So then we'll have Daniel Bryan versus Batista at WrestleMania 30.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and then
prediction.
you're gonna have to find out Tom's predictions at Tom the Calm on Twitter. He will tweet them out for everybody
Yes, he will.
since
because
he's kidnapped. And they have great Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they do. They let you be on your phone, and they even give you a charger if you don't try to escape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very nice. Did you like the crickets, by the way?
Oh, there were so many.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Main Event, and huge thanks to Josh Mathews for guesting on the show. Again, his Twitter is at WWE Josh Mathews. That is with one T. Thank him for coming on the show. Tell him what you thought of his appearance on the show, and
Yeah, do that, guys.
and send this episode out. So, ladies, where can they find you, and where can they see your upcoming stuff? Gabby.
Oh. You guys can find me on Twitter, Gabrielle_Loren, Instagram, GabbyLO87, and I'm also contributing, if you're into red carpet and fashion and celebrities, to redcarpet101.com.
Oh, very
Oh,
exciting.
nice.
Markeia?
Yes, you guys can find me on Twitter at Markeia McCarty. And if you like live comedy, on the second Sunday of March, I'm in an all-black, all-female group called Essence Improv, and we'll be performing at the Clubhouse.
Very exciting. And for myself, you can find me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks. And this week, I have special guest, the man behind wrestling memes, Tom Anstey, is our guest, and we talked to him. And you can listen to that on comedypodcastnetwork.com and iTunes. So for Main Event and AfterBuzz, have a great week, guys.
From executive producers Markeia Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.